While stationed deep in the ragged terrain of Helmand Province, Afghanistan, the last thing I expected was a call from home, let alone that kind of call. I was in the middle of a debrief, half my gear still caked in the dust and blood of a recent skirmish, when my sat phone buzzed. It was my daughter, Ellie. She never called. Not unless something was wrong. Her voice was trembling, strained, breaking. "Dad, I can't do this anymore," she whispered. "What's going on, baby?" I asked, already standing, already knowing. "It's Mom," she said. And just like that, I stopped breathing. She brings him into the house. Every day? Some dude named Rick. He walks in like he owns the place, like you don't exist. And after he's done with her, he starts making moves on me. Dad. There was a silence so sharp, it could cut through armor. I felt something tear inside my chest, deeper than any shrapnel wound. I didn't ask for more. I didn't need to. I requested emergency leave without even waiting for approval. They knew me. They saw my face. They didn't argue. Within 12 hours, I was wheels down in D.C., walking through Reagan Airport with nothing but my duffel bag and the holster pressed under my jacket, housing my old friend, the chrome-plated Magnum. I didn't go home right away. I waited. I needed to see it for myself. So, I parked 2 blocks away, behind an abandoned grocery store, just close enough to watch the house I had built brick by brick, where every memory I had with Ellie was carved into the goddamn walls. 3 days. 3F **ing* days I sat there. Watching. Recording. On the second day, I saw her, Amanda. My wife. My bitch of a wife. Wearing the dress I gave her last Christmas. The one she said made her feel like a real woman. She opened the door, giggling, as a tall, smug, greasy-haired piece of garbage strolled in with grocery bags full of wine and chocolate. Rick. I watched as they kissed in the doorway like they were in some damn movie. Not like she was married to a man who was dodging bullets in the desert for her freedom. I saw him slap her ass as they walked inside. She laughed. And then, the curtains closed. I didn't sleep that night. The third day, same routine. Except this time, Rick arrived earlier. Ellie came home from school and walked in the front door without knowing. 10 minutes later, she stormed out, crying. I broke. I waited until it was dark. Then I entered through the back like a goddamn ghost. The house smelled like wine, strawberries, and betrayal. They were in the living room. Amanda was on top of him, giggling like a college girl, moaning his name like it was a damn song. She didn't even hear me step into the room until I cocked the Magnum. Amanda froze. She turned her head. Her eyes met mine. No fear. No shame. Just annoyance. "Really, Jason?" she hissed, climbing off him and adjusting her robe. "You couldn't call first? Get Ellie out. Now." She rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes. "Relax," she said. "She's at her friend's house." I needed a break from her little tantrums. I stepped closer. The Magnum didn't shake in my hand. My voice did. She called me Amanda. "From Afghanistan. You brought this into our home. While I was out there killing for this country." Rick stood up. Bare-chested. Arrogant. "Hey man, maybe if you satisfied your wife, she wouldn't need." Bam. I didn't shoot him. But the bullet landed 2 inches from his foot. The glass coffee table shattered. Rick stumbled back, hands up. Okay. Amanda didn't flinch. Not a twitch. She looked at the hole in the floor. Then at me. "You always were dramatic," she said, with venom in her voice. "What? You think you're gonna come in here, act like some war hero, and I'll beg for forgiveness? Please. I've been done with you since Ellie was born. I stayed because it was convenient." I laughed. I actually laughed. "You stayed because you didn't think I'd ever come back alive." She didn't deny it. Rick ran out the door half-dressed. Amanda sat on the couch, lit a cigarette, and crossed her legs like she was waiting for a cab. "You can leave now," she said. "We're done. I'll send the papers. Just sign." I didn't say anything. I looked at her one last time. The woman I once loved. The mother of my child. And I walked out. But this wasn't over. Not even close. I didn't sleep the night I came back. I just sat in my truck, engine off, the cold steel of the Magnum resting on my thigh like a coiled snake, waiting. My mind raced in every direction at once. Amanda's voice echoed in my head, that smug tone, those dead eyes. "You can leave now." She said it like I was some dog who had overstayed his welcome. Nah, this wasn't over. This wasn't even started. I dropped Ellie off at my sister's place in Baltimore. I didn't tell her the full story. Not yet. Just said her mom was going through some things and needed space. She didn't argue. She knew. Hell, she lived it. Once Ellie was safe, I went back to the house. It was empty. Amanda was gone, probably licking her wounds in some motel with Rick, the bottom feeder. So I broke in. Easy. I still had the key. I went room by room like I was clearing a damn house in Kandahar. Every drawer. Every shelf. I wanted the truth. The full, ugly truth. In the nightstand, I found a second phone. Burner. Passcode was easy, her birthday. She's predictable when she's not lying. The messages? They were sickening. Rick, you left the back door unlocked again, LOL. Your daughter saw me. LMAO. Tell her to stop staring. Amanda, whatever. She'll get over it. You're hot. She's hormonal. Not my fault. Rick, we still on for the cabin this weekend. Amanda, yep. Told Jason I needed a mental health retreat. He bought it like always. I felt my hands shaking. Mental health retreat? I was on the other side of the planet with bullets flying past my ears, and she was playing house with some sleazy gym bro. And then I found the photo. It wasn't even hidden. Just sitting in her email drafts. Maybe she meant to send it. Maybe not. Amanda, in lingerie. On my bed. With Rick behind her. Middle fingers up to the camera. Her caption read, "Still alive, but barely." My vision blurred. I sat down, heart pounding, breath shallow. The woman I married, the one I swore to protect, she was mocking me. But it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about Ellie. I forwarded everything to a flash drive. Every text, every photo, every location ping. I was building a case, one that would bury Amanda in court. Next, I started digging into Rick. No last name in the texts. But I had his number now. And I had friends. One call to my buddy Marcus, ex-Intel guy, now working private security, and I had a name, Rick Dalton. No criminal record, but he had red flags all over the place. Worked as a personal trainer, but listed no clients. Had cash deposits every week, no taxes. And then Marcus said something that made my blood freeze. He's connected to this guy in Philly. Some small-time mover. Pills, mostly. There's whispers Rick's his runner. Suddenly it made sense. The arrogance. The money. The attitude like he was untouchable. Amanda wasn't just cheating. She was bringing a drug runner into my home. Around my daughter. And she didn't care. Not even a little. That night, I sat in my truck again. Watching the house. The same way I did before. But this time, I wasn't a broken man coming home. This time, I was a soldier with a mission. 2 days later, I got a tip from Marcus that Amanda and Rick were meeting at a high-end bar downtown. Not exactly the place you'd expect a washed-up gym rat and a fading housewife to be seen, but that made it more interesting. It meant she wanted to be seen. She wanted the attention, the admiration. The lies had made her bold, reckless. So I cleaned up. Suit, clean shave, no weapon this time. I wanted her to see me not as the soldier she'd grown used to dismissing, but as the man she underestimated. The man coming for the truth. When I walked into the bar, I saw them instantly. Corner booth, her heels kicked off, his hand already halfway up her thigh. She was laughing that fake, plastic laugh, the one she used when she wanted something. I used to think it was charming. Now, it just made my stomach turn. I didn't walk up quietly. I pulled the chair out across from them and sat down like I had a reservation. Amanda blinked like she'd seen a ghost. Rick, of course, puffed up like a threatened peacock. "What the hell are you doing here?" she hissed, pulling her dress down. "Too late for dignity. Just wanted to see the stars of the show," I said calmly. "You two seem cozy. Did you tell him you're still legally married? Or that you're living in the house I paid for?" Rick scoffed. "Man, get lost. No one invited you." I leaned forward, eyes locked on Amanda. "Tell him about Ellie's call. Go ahead. Tell him what she said." She blinked fast. A crack in the armor. She was exaggerating. Amanda spat. "Teenagers say crazy things. You know that." I slammed a photo on the table. The one from her email draft. Amanda's smirk froze mid-sentence. Rick leaned in, squinting, then chuckled. "Oh damn," he said. "You got that from her phone? That's impressive, bro." "Don't call me bro." I snapped, my voice low but razor sharp. "You stepped into my home, into my daughter's life, and now you think this is a game?" Amanda rolled her eyes. "You always make everything so dramatic." "I wasn't happy, Jason. You left me alone for years. What did you expect? That I'd wait like some desperate housewife while you played soldier?" "You mean while I served my country?" I said, trying to keep the tremor from my voice. "You served yourself," she said coldly. You were always married to the military. Not me. Not Ellie. So yeah, I found someone who actually wanted to be around. Who touched me. Who listened. Her words sliced deeper than any blade. And she knew it. She twisted that knife with every syllable. You brought a drug runner into our home, I said quietly. You risked our daughter's safety for what? Some back alley thrills. Rick stood up, cocky as hell. You done yet, soldier boy? 'Cause I don't take kindly to threats. I looked at Amanda one last time. Her eyes, empty. No guilt. No shame. Just annoyance. Like I was a problem she wanted out of the way. So I stood. Slowly. Calmly. This is your final warning, I told her. I'm filing for full custody. And if I even hear that he's within 100 feet of Ellie again, I will burn every bridge. I have to make sure you both drown in the fallout. Amanda smirked. You're bluffing. You really think that? I leaned close enough that only she could hear. Then watch me. As I walked away, I didn't look back. But I heard her voice. Don't expect sympathy in court, Jason. You're just another angry vet with a gun and a grudge. She was right about one thing. I was angry. But the grudge? That was just getting started. 2 days after the confrontation at the bar, I thought maybe, just maybe, Amanda would back off. Stay quiet. Let the lawyers handle the mess like adults. I should have known better. Amanda never played fair. And she never played clean. It started with a knock at my motel room door just after midnight. I was halfway through reviewing legal docs when the pounding shook me out of focus. I opened it, expecting the front desk or maybe even Marcus. But it was Ellie, tears streaming down her face. Hoodie pulled up, backpack slung over one shoulder like she'd run away. Dad, I didn't know where else to go. I pulled her inside, heart sinking. What happened? She's losing it, Ellie said through hiccuped breaths. Mom, she screamed at me. Told me I was turning into you. That I was ungrateful. I said I didn't want Rick in the house anymore, and she snapped. I clenched my jaw. Did he touch you again? No, she whispered, eyes darting. But he talked. The way he looks at me, it's disgusting. And Mom doesn't care. She told me if I didn't like it, I could leave. So I did. She reached into her hoodie and pulled out her phone. I recorded it. I took the phone and hit play. Amanda's voice blasted through the speaker. Slurred from wine. Sharp from rage. You think your dad's some hero? He left us. I was alone, Ellie. Alone for years. And Rick's been here. He takes care of me. Ellie's voice, shaking. He's not supposed to be here. He's not safe, Mom. I don't care. If you can't live with the way things are now, then get the hell out. Click. Recording ended. I closed my eyes, fighting the fury in my chest. This wasn't just betrayal anymore. This was war. I texted Marcus the audio. Told him to keep it safe. I'd need it in court. The next morning, Amanda struck back. I got served. A court order, temporary restraining order, against me. Amanda claimed I'd threatened her and Rick with a gun. She called me unstable, violent, and emotionally erratic. She even said Ellie was afraid of her father's rage. I laughed. Laughed so hard I nearly punched the wall. She's weaponizing the system, I said to Marcus over the phone. She's twisting it all. She's desperate, he replied. Desperate people make mistakes. Let her dig her own grave. Just stay clean. But Amanda wasn't done. Later that day, Ellie got a text. It was from her mom. You're choosing him over me? Fine. Don't come back. You're dead to me. Ellie handed me the phone, hands trembling. I hate her, she whispered. She used to be different. Before Rick. Before everything. I wrapped my arm around her, trying to hold myself together. Because inside, I was falling apart. Amanda had thrown away her daughter like garbage just to protect a man she barely knew. A man who, by all accounts, was using her. She didn't care about family, or safety, or truth. She cared about pride. And now she was dragging Ellie through hell just to win a fight she started. That night, I sat in the motel parking lot with the Magnum beside me, engine running, mind racing. It would have been easy to do something stupid, to end it all with one loud, final gesture. But I didn't. Because Ellie needed me. And Amanda? She was about to learn that you don't cross a man who's already lost everything, but still has something left to protect. By the end of that week, I had already met with my lawyer 3 times. The moment I showed him the audio recording of Amanda threatening Ellie and the text she sent afterward, he sat back in his chair and said one word. Leverage. But in family court, leverage wasn't always enough. It was war with a polished smile. And Amanda, for all her venom, knew how to put on a damn show. The first court hearing was scheduled for Friday morning. Ellie and I were both called to testify. I didn't want her to go through that, being forced to relive the pain in front of strangers. But Ellie looked me in the eye and said, "I need them to hear it from me. Not from papers. From me." She had more courage than most grown men I knew. We walked into that courtroom like a united front. Amanda was already there, sitting next to her smug, overpriced attorney in a tailored suit, her hair pulled back like she was going to a job interview, not a custody hearing. She even had on pearls. Pearls, for God's sake. When she saw Ellie with me, she gave her daughter a fake little wave. Ellie didn't even flinch. Good. The judge looked over the claims. Amanda's lawyer started first, laying it on thick. "Your Honor, my client has suffered emotional distress due to Mr. Hayes' erratic behavior. His military background, while commendable, has unfortunately contributed to what we believe are PTSD-related episodes, including threats of violence with a firearm. Ms. Hayes is seeking full custody of their daughter and a continued restraining order to ensure her safety." I almost laughed. He made it sound like I was one missed therapy session away from snapping in a grocery store. Meanwhile, Amanda sat there looking like Mother Teresa. Then it was my turn. My lawyer, Alicia, sharp as a razor, stood and calmly placed the flash drive on the evidence table. "Your Honor," she said, "what Mr. Hayes lacks in acting skills, he makes up for in evidence. This flash drive contains recordings and messages proving Ms. Hayes not only invited a man with alleged criminal connections into her home, but knowingly exposed her underage daughter to him and dismissed her concerns with complete disregard for safety." The judge leaned forward. "Is this child present?" Ellie stood up before anyone else could answer. "I am," she said, voice clear and steady. "And I'd like to speak." The courtroom hushed. What she said next made even the court reporter stop typing. "My mom stopped being my mom a long time ago," Ellie said. "She let a stranger sleep in our house, in my house. He made comments about my body. He tried to touch me once, and when I told her, she blamed me." Amanda's face went pale. She tried to interrupt, but the judge raised his hand. Ellie finished, voice trembling but strong. "I don't want to live with her. I don't feel safe." That was the moment I knew we'd won the day. But Amanda, she didn't go down easy. That evening, I got an email from an unknown address. The subject line, "You really want to play dirty?" Inside was a video. Grainy. Night vision. Shot through the blinds. It was me, sitting in my truck outside the house, cleaning my gun. The message read, "You think the court's going to like seeing this? Maybe I'll accidentally leak it to the news. Or better yet, to Ellie's school. Let's see how long your hero mask stays on." Amanda was threatening to spin the narrative. Turn me into the aggressor. Even if it was legal. Even if I hadn't done anything wrong. She wasn't just playing to win. She was playing to destroy. Amanda had always been cunning. Manipulative, sure, but this was another level. She wasn't just trying to win custody. She wanted to paint me as a monster. A dangerous man with a weapon and a grudge. I stared at the email again and again that night, memorizing every detail of that video. The angle. The reflection in the glass. The timestamp. It wasn't just a random threat. It was premeditated. Filmed from inside the house. Which meant she or Rick had recorded it knowing they'd use it later. I didn't reply. I forwarded the email straight to Alicia. She called me 10 minutes later. "She's desperate." "This is blackmail," she said. "Yeah," I muttered, "but it's working." I could feel the walls closing in. I'd seen it happen to other men, good men, who lost their kids, their homes, their names, because the court bought into the illusion the woman wove. I had to end this. Not in court, not with emails, but face to face. So I texted her. "One last talk. You owe me that much. No lawyers. Just us." To my surprise, she agreed. We met at the park near our old neighborhood. The one where we used to take Ellie when she was little. She wore sunglasses and a long coat, like she was hiding from paparazzi. I came empty-handed. No gun. No flash drive. Just the truth. Amanda lit a cigarette before I even said a word. Her first line? "Ellie's turning into you. Cold. Self-righteous. Miserable." I didn't respond. I just watched her. "She used to be sweet," she went on. "Now she walks around the house like I'm her enemy. Because of you." "No," I said calmly. "Because of Rick." She flinched. "Tell me something," I said, stepping closer. "What's so special about him? Really, what is it? The danger? The thrill? Or does he remind you of someone you used to be?" Amanda didn't answer. She just kept dragging on that cigarette like it was the only thing keeping her from snapping. You weren't always like this, I continued. There was a time you cared. About Ellie. About us. Now you're threatening to leak videos of me cleaning my gun. After everything I did to protect this family. You call that protecting? She snapped. You left. You were never here. You loved that uniform more than me. More than your own daughter. I left to give you both a future. A house. Safety. Stability. I didn't want stability, Jason, she screamed. I wanted passion. Fire. I wanted to feel wanted, not like some box you checked off before deploying again. And there it was. The truth beneath it all. She wanted chaos. She missed it. Rick gave her that. With his illegal money, his fast life, his lies. She was addicted to the fantasy. And she didn't care who burned because of it. You know he's using you, right? I said. He's tied to dealers. We have proof. He's going to drag you down, Amanda. He already is. He loves me, she said, voice cracking. No, I replied. He loves what you can give him. A roof. A shield. A cover. Her face shifted, just for a second. Doubt flickered behind her glasses. Then it vanished. Maybe that's all I'm good for, she whispered. I paused. Because in that moment, I realized something. Amanda wasn't evil. She was empty. Hollowed out by years of pretending. Of needing to feel important. And Rick, he filled that void like poison in a glass. Sweet. But lethal. You're going to lose her, I said. You keep this up, and Ellie will never come back. She didn't answer. Just turned and walked away. But not before she said one last thing. If I'm going down, I'll take you with me. I knew Amanda was unhinged, but hearing her say she'd take me down, if she went under, it hit differently. She wasn't bluffing. Not anymore. And with Rick wrapped around her like a viper in heat, she wasn't just dangerous. She was armed with stupidity and a man who had everything to lose. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling of my motel room, running every possible outcome through my head. And for the first time since I'd returned from Afghanistan, I wasn't thinking like a soldier. I was thinking like a father with his back against the wall. The next morning, Marcus called. I dug deeper, he said. Rick Dalton isn't even his real name. What? I sat up in bed, my pulse spiking. His real name's Derek Morales. Changed it 3 years ago after a drug bust in New Jersey. He flipped on 2 dealers to get a lighter sentence. He's been hiding out since. But get this, he didn't just run. He stole something. I held my breath. Cash. A lot of it. From the crew he ratted out. Word is, they've been looking for him. Quietly. Carefully. Everything started clicking. His paranoia. The cameras Amanda had suddenly installed in the house. Her sudden obsession with privacy. The way she always looked over her shoulder in public. Jesus, I whispered. She doesn't even know. She might, Marcus replied. She just doesn't care. I hung up and immediately drove to the courthouse. I needed to update Alicia. This changed everything. A man hiding from a cartel or gang was not someone fit to be around a child. But Amanda beat me to it. She filed an emergency motion that morning claiming I was mentally unstable and emotionally violent. Said she was scared for her life. She even submitted a new video, me outside the house again, pacing, holding my phone, looking agitated. It was cut, edited, and stripped of context. She was trying to bury me before I could even speak. And then I got another email. Anonymous sender. Subject, you like surprises? The attachment was a photo, Rick or Derek, shirtless, holding Ellie's school ID in one hand and giving the middle finger with the other. Behind him, my house. The hallway Ellie walked through every morning. The message read, one word from me and she disappears. Stay in your lane, soldier. That's when I snapped. I drove straight to the house. I didn't care about the restraining order. I didn't care if they called the cops. I wasn't going to let this go another second. Amanda answered the door, barefoot, wine glass already in hand. It was 11 a.m. She opened her mouth to speak, but I pushed past her. I'm done playing, I said. Where is he? Jason. Where is he? Rick came down the stairs in boxers, like he owned the place. Man, you really don't know when to quit, huh? I grabbed him by the throat and slammed him into the wall. Where did you get my daughter's ID? Answer me, or I swear. Amanda screamed, trying to pull me off. Rick just laughed. It was a joke, man. Chill out. She probably dropped it, and I found it. Damn. You took a picture with it. Threatened me. Threatened her. That wasn't me, he spat. Someone's messing with you. I let go, breathing hard. eyes locked on him. "You're already in a deep hole," I said. "And you're too dumb to realize the dirt's about to start falling." Amanda slapped me, right across the face. "Get out," she screamed. "You're insane." I looked at her, stunned. "He's a marked man. You're harboring a thief. And you don't even care. What happens when they come for him? You think they'll spare you?" She blinked, hesitated. "Get out." I didn't argue. I walked out. But this time, it wasn't retreat. It was strategy. Because if Amanda wouldn't listen to reason, maybe the law would finally catch up to her mistakes. Court was set for Friday. Final custody hearing. Full review. No more emergency motions. No more whispered accusations. Just cold, hard truth. And this time, I came prepared for war. I walked into that courtroom with Alicia at my side, dressed like I was giving a eulogy to the man Amanda once pretended to love. No more rage in my chest, just precision. Controlled fire. Amanda was already there, perfectly manicured. Her lips were a shade too red, like she needed color to distract from the rot underneath. Rick sat in the back corner, arms crossed, trying not to look like a criminal. He failed. The judge entered, stern-eyed and silent. Papers shuffled. Time moved slow. Alicia stood and delivered the first blow. "Your Honor, before we begin, we'd like to introduce new evidence." A flash drive, a sealed envelope, 2 affidavits. This contains verified documentation that Mr. Rick Dalton is, in fact, Derek Morales, who entered witness protection after stealing nearly $200,000 from an East Coast drug ring in 2021. We've confirmed through law enforcement contacts that there is still an active inquiry involving his whereabouts. Gasps. Whispers. Amanda turned her head slightly, a crack forming in her polished mask. Alicia wasn't finished. "We've also included a photograph sent anonymously to Mr. Hayes, featuring Mr. Morales holding the minor child's school ID in a threatening pose. A clear act of intimidation, implying harm." Amanda shot up from her chair. "Objection. That photo was fake. We don't know where it came from." "Sit down, Ms. Hayes," the judge snapped. Alicia slid the final piece across the table. "And here are the original text messages from Ms. Hayes' second phone, submitted voluntarily by the child, Ellie Hayes. They indicate clear negligence, psychological abuse, and a refusal to remove a known criminal from the home." Amanda stood frozen. Her mouth opened, then closed. No words. The judge sighed and leaned forward. "Ms. Hayes, do you deny allowing Mr. Morales to reside in the home you share with your daughter, despite being informed of his criminal background?" She hesitated. "I didn't know," she muttered. The judge raised an eyebrow. "So the cameras you installed, the sudden phone number change, the emergency motion filed the same day your husband requested a background check. All a coincidence." Silence. I wanted to feel alive again. Amanda finally whispered, her voice cracking. "Rick made me feel that. I didn't think it would go this far." "Your Honor," Alicia said softly, "my client did." The judge nodded slowly, tapping his pen against the bench. "Effective immediately, full legal and physical custody of Ellie Hayes is granted to Jason Hayes. Supervised visitation for Amanda Hayes will be arranged on a bi-weekly basis, pending further psychological evaluation. A separate hearing will be scheduled regarding Mr. Morales' status and potential charges." Amanda collapsed into her chair like the strings had been cut. Rick stood up, ready to bolt, but 2 officers were already in motion. As they reached him, he muttered something under his breath, something about Amanda ruining everything. She didn't even look at him. She looked at me. There was no hatred in her eyes, no fury, just emptiness. A void she'd built herself, brick by toxic brick. I took Ellie's hand as we left the courtroom. She didn't say much. Neither did I. We didn't need to. Sometimes silence is louder than anything. When we reached the car, she looked at me. "You think she ever loved us?" she asked. I paused, then started the engine. "I think she loved the idea of us. But not the work. Not the weight of it." Ellie nodded. I took a long breath, staring at the road ahead. "I don't know how we're going to fix everything," I said quietly. "But we've got time now. And each other." That night, I threw away the flash drives. Deleted the files. I didn't want to live in Amanda's wreckage anymore. I'd already made it out of one war zone. I wasn't about to let another one take